I'm the Kinky Polyatheist, and today on the show we're talking to Drgn and Sassy about the poly community, poly families, and raising kids. So today we're going to talk to Drgn and Cassandra about how their poly relationship comes together and what's involved and how they've been keeping it running.
I'm Drgn, or GW. Been poly, also in the kink and leather communities for 6 years.
I'm Cassandra, or Sassy. He calls me Little One, so if that happens to come up, that's why. I've been poly pretty much my entire life.
Like, subscribe, and don't forget we also have a podcast now that you can check out. We're going to kick this off talking about breakups when you're in a small community, and that's going to lead us right into poly families and raising kids.
And the other thing about poly is the community is not very large. And so it's never good to burn a bridge so deep that you, unlike a monogamous relationship, people go on Facebook and they burn their partner. He's a cheater, he did this, and da-da-da-da-da, he's just a horrible person, or she's just a mean person. And we don't do that in poly because what you got out of that person might not be who they really are. It was whatever toxicity or whatever was happening between you two was happening between you two. Doesn't mean that they are like that with their other partners. It's just whatever you two had was not working out.
Mm-hmm.
He explained it quite nicely last night. I'm having an issue with one of my partners right now. Him and I just are not communicating, and he was like, you two are saying the same thing in two different languages. You're speaking Spanish and he's speaking French. You're the word for word verbatim, but y'all are not understanding it because you're speaking two different languages. Mm-hmm. And that happens a lot in poly relationships when you're trying to find other partners. You could be saying the same thing in two different languages, and it does not mean that you need to go on Facebook and expose them or tell the poly community every negative thing about them, because that's not who they are. It's just whatever happened in your guys' relationship just did not mesh.
Mm-hmm.
And if it is something that needs to be called out, luckily in our poly group, or our poly world here in Vegas, is we have very good people to speak to if you have a concern, and those people kind of, they steer them to the right direction. And like, hey, what you're doing is not correct. We don't do that in this community. We're a family here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I do think that it's kind of amazing. Being poly, we're always talking about it with each other. Mm-hmm. So the idea of me bringing up some issues that I'm having in one of my relationships is pretty natural. Mm-hmm. And getting feedback and second opinions and things like that is also really natural. So I don't feel like I'm doing it alone or something like that, where in monogamy I do feel like that sometimes, where I feel like there's no one I can talk to about this.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, what she just said, let's break this down. We haven't been there in a while, so sometimes it might be a little odd to put ourselves back in that mono head space. Mm-hmm. We just passed over something that she said like it was nothing, because for us it isn't. She said, I said something to her that really put her and her other partner's issue into perspective.
Yeah. You don't get that in monogamous relationships.
She could come to me, her nesting partner, her primary partner, and talk to me about issues that she has with her other partner. Mm-hmm. And because of who I am and the fact that I care about her and I've got that compersion and I want her to be happy, I'm going to put an actual concerted effort into helping and actually helping.
And on a next level out, we have everything you just described our tribe does for each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That goes beyond.
And it's not about calling someone out as being right or wrong. It's about trying to help everybody heal and be the best person.
And that's why the poly discussion page on Facebook and stuff is really good, is because you can post an anonymous question. You can send it to one of the leads and say, hey, I don't want to post this because I don't want my partner knowing I'm going through this, or I don't want my friends knowing I'm going through this. So would you post this on my behalf?
Yep.
And they put, this is from an anonymous source. This is my story. And we give each other feedback and we help each other work through things. Because we're all going through it. We might not be able to talk one-on-one about it. But at one point or another, we've all dealt with everything. Whether it be the condom broke, he cheated. Because we can still cheat in poly. Poly is not about just having multiple sex partners at any time you want. We are consenting adults, yes, but we have standards. We have rules within our relationship.
Right. You have agreements.
We have agreements, and you can cheat.
Break an agreement.
You can, and it hurts just as much as it would in a monogamous relationship. It does not go away, but we just have a vast community that helps you work through it. It doesn't have to be the end of a relationship. It has to be the beginning of communication, of healing. And if it ends, the healing ends the relationship, that is okay too. But it's not, he cheated, it's over, I'm going to go on Facebook now, tell everybody to hate him because he cheated. No, again, everybody makes mistakes. We're not, and nobody's perfect. I'm not pointing at him because he's cheated. He has not. I'm just, they're men and they're sitting here, so I'm using them as examples. And I've never cheated either. Let's just put that out there too. That's the one thing I love about the discussion groups. We have multiple pages. We have the poly discussion group. We have dating groups. We have ethical non-monogamy groups compared to poly groups, because that's totally different things as well. We have swingers groups. And we can be a part of every group. Everybody accepts everybody's type for dynamics, and we use it to help figure out what we are, who we are, and where we want to go and be when we grow up. Because some of us are little, so we don't grow up. We're never long.
So, just to recap, the Vegas Poly Discussion is a Facebook group, and I'll double check with the owner of the group to see if they're interested in me sharing a link, and if so, it'll be in the description. And also, I just want to throw it out there, you have a jealousy group that you're doing. Can you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so the last Thursday of every month in Las Vegas at the LGBTQ Center from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., I host a jealousy handbook discussion group. It's just a general book club. Right now our book is the jealousy handbook because it was very needed in the community from the conversations I could see on the discussion group page. But we just work on a few chapters every single month. Like I said, the last Thursday of every month, and it's a great group of people. We have it online for people who don't want to come out during COVID, and we also have it in person with a good, safe, social distance classroom setting. So if you're ever interested, please join us.
And I'll put a link to that in the description as well.
And it's also on the center's events page as well.
Oh, cool.
So they can always find it on there too.
Sweet. One other topic I wanted to kind of touch on is kids. You guys, you have kids in the house. You have partners who have kids, and I'm curious, how do you just manage that?
My kids are from my marriage. They are 11 and 12. They are my world, my existence, and my everything. Okay? I don't hide very many things from them, if anything. I need them to understand that it's okay to do what you need to do to be happy within reason. Don't break any laws. I explained to them very, very early on. I've been poly for 6 years. The second they started showing interest in relationships, saying, I've got a girlfriend or I want a girlfriend, I sat down and explained to them that you don't have to have just one. You also don't have to have only girlfriends. It doesn't matter. You be you. You be happy. Don't let anybody else tell you that you can't. I've been planting that seed and watering that seed and putting plant food on that seed for years.
And we try not to call them girlfriends or boyfriends. We usually try to say
Partner
partners to them.
Yeah.
So that way they understand that if they ever
use
needed
the
to
term.
come out in any sort of way, we are accepting of it.
Yeah, and we're using terminology that they might hear.
The adults using.
Yeah, exactly. So they understand.
Awesome.
Especially my oldest boy, he's an eavesdropper. He listens to everything anyway. So there's really not a point in trying to hide it. So I sat them down, and I've sat them down several times, and I explained what poly is. I've explained that I have other girlfriends. She has other boyfriends. I've explained to them that I know all of her other boyfriends and she knows all of my other girlfriends, and everything is okay because we talk about everything and we have permission for everything. And I mean, they're 11 and 12, so it's still like, okay, Dad, no problem. Can I play my video games again? Yeah. But they know. 4th of July, we all went over to one of her partner's houses. They had a blast. And I mean, he's a little, right? It was great. Perfect match, right? One of her, or her other partner came over. When I know that's going to happen, I tell him, it's like, all right, boys, this person's coming over. He's one of Cassandra's partners. They met my other girlfriend, but before me and her started dating. So when I picked them up from the airport this last time they came out to visit, I explained, like, do you remember this person? just so you know, me and her are dating now. So you might see her. We're going to try to plan some things with her kids and her fiance. I explained that to my kids. If that all ended up happening and they end up seeing me kissing her.
Not a surprise.
Exactly. There's no awkward conversation.
Not making your partner feel like they're a secret. That is very important to me. The reason why I had to block people on Facebook with my family. I didn't want any of my partners to feel like they weren't important or they were a secret. They're not. Society makes you feel like it's not okay.
Right.
And in my own house, I'm definitely not doing that. If our kids can't accept the fact that we have multiple partners, then maybe this isn't the family for me, because I don't want to ever feel like I'm a secret, and I never want to make somebody else feel like they're a secret.
Thank you for saying that, because I'm in the same position on that one. I've definitely had people turn to me before walking into an event saying, how am I allowed to act once we walk through this door? Mm-hmm. And that's such a horrible thing, but it happens a lot in our community because it has to. It's a conversation you have to have.
Unfortunately, it has to, yeah. Honestly, with my girlfriend, I don't know, because she actually has some issues going on with her ex. So I'm not sure if the relationship dynamics are known to them. I mean, it's a conversation that me and her would have before we were in a situation. If it would have worked out that all 8 of us were going to Dave & Buster's, it would have been a conversation that me and her had to make sure that I didn't cross any lines.
And we have to do that.
Yeah. We have to set expectations.
New Year's is a perfect example. If any of my other partners would have been there, it would suck to only be able to kiss him to ease everybody else's egos or feelings, that weren't in the monogamous world or in the poly world, that I couldn't have a New Year's kiss with any other partner present because I was going to hurt, or because you're a secret from the children, or you're a secret from my vanilla friend. I want to plan a vacation where I can go to my favorite destination like Germany or Hawaii and say, hey, everybody that can afford a ticket, please come. It's not a primary vacation. Yeah. Bring your family. Let's all make memories together, because we are a family. Whether we hang out every day, whether we talk every day, every single person in a poly relationship, in our relationship, is part of our family. I'm going to care for his other girlfriend's feelings. I'm going to wonder, is she okay? Is she feeling she's getting enough time from him? Am I monopolizing him? Or I help him pick dates because he sucks at dates. So I'm like, hey, this would be a good idea. Or I'll give like a list and then say, out of those, pick which one you like. But these are just ideas. And then sometimes he doesn't continue, but he triggered a thought to him and he thought of something else.
Mm-hmm. I really like that description. Like, where some people use the term polycule, you're using the term family.
We are family.
I love that.
I don't have to like you. I have to respect you.
I love it.
I don't like some of my partner's other partners. Or I have not liked some of my partner's other partners. I'm still going to respect them because they are connected to the person I care about.
And I guess under that analogy, sometimes when you might have another partner in the house, the kids might even see them as the same way a monogamous person will describe an uncle or something like that, or an aunt. Yeah. It's like this is the fun aunt, or the fun uncle, or the not fun aunt, or the not fun uncle.
We used to have a friend, and they still live in Vegas. We just lost the connection with them. They have kids in their house, and he has his 2 girlfriends living with him. They all live together, and they all live in the same bed, actually, like the girlfriend and him. They share a big king-size bed in the master bedroom, and the kids call both of them mom. Each one has a different mom, but to them, everybody is mom, and they'll be like, hey, moms. And they use a plural when they're calling both of them. Awesome. Or if they only need one of them to differentiate, they'll say, Mama Jill, Mama Jack, Mama whatever, I need you. Or they'll say, hey, have you seen my Mama Jill? I've been looking for her and I can't find her anywhere. And so it's beautiful to see where the kids aren't, oh, I'm biologically yours, so your mom and this is whoever. No, they raise their kids as one very normal family. There is no his, hers, half. Everybody is a family. And I love that.
Those kids go to school and go, that's weird. You only done that?
They do. And
That's weird.
they have to explain to every teacher, because they're in public school, they have to explain to the teachers at the beginning of the school year. You know, parent-teacher conference, there's going to be three of us. There's going to be 2 moms and a dad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, emergency contacts, they got 2 moms and a dad you can call.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to always explain it, and the kids even have to explain it to their friends. And yes, I'm sure they get a little bit of a hard time, but from my understanding when I talk to the kids, is their friends are envious because they get extra love. They get extra care. They're never.
2 of them?
Yeah, there's never I have to wait for one person to come help me. Someone's always available to help you.
Huh.
I've actually read a couple of articles that explain that it's actually becoming much more prevalent now to have a 3-parent house.
Wow.
Yeah, it was an amazing article. I mean, there's couples out there that their best friend is coming in and living as a parent, even though there's not a romantic relationship between the best friend and the couple.
I grew up in that.
They're an actual parent figure. In some other countries, it's actually, there's a way to make that a legal thing, where legally these are the people that are in charge of and responsible for and guardians of this child, with all the same equal rights. It's absolutely beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
If the rest of society, the rest of the world could shed off the social conformity, it's amazing the beautiful things that we could do if we just opened up our minds, opened up our hearts.
Mm-hmm. It's just more love.
Yeah. Put a little love in your heart.
Thank you both so much for coming. Really appreciate all the wonderful insight you've given me on so many things that honestly I can't quite talk about, like things like kids. I just can't talk about them. So thank you so much. I'm so glad that I'm in a community with the 2 of you, and I'm so glad that you guys are at the heads of so many groups and communities, because I think you're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. It was fun.
Awesome.
Great time.
I'd like to get you both back individually. I would like to have a conversation with you about littles and also brats.
Can I bring my coloring book?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'd like to have a conversation with you about service tops and a couple other topics.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure if I can say them on YouTube.
We could figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
If you have any questions, you can send them to ask@kinkypolyatheist.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe and check out the podcast. See you guys next time.